Welcome to Lime Rock. I'm Nick, founder and coach at Corner Faster. We host test days for current racers and an SCCA accredited school for the next ones. This video is part of a 10-part series where we take a look at Lime Rock Park in the iRacing simulator and go from a virtual track walk up to race ready. In this video, the first video of 10, we're going to take a look at scouting the track, taking a look at the safety features, corner stations, pit in and pit out. We're actually going to get started taking a look at Lime Rock Park and Google Maps and get a literal picture of the place. So we've got the pit lane here just inside of the main straightaway into turn 1. And the first thing I want to point out is that the pit lane exit, when it rejoins the racing surface, is essentially right at the turn in / brake zone into turn 1, Big Bend. So that's something you're going to want to keep in mind. And then similarly, there's a tricky pit entry when you're leaving the hot track surface and entering the pits. When you exit the final downhill corner, if you track out all the way, you won't be able to make it across the track and into pit lane appropriately. So you're going to have to actually slow down, give a little bit up in that final corner. So being heads up and communicating with other drivers is going to be key as you pull over to the right and then merge into the new pit lane chicane into the Lime Rock pit lane here. The other thing to point out in the overhead, at the end of the brake zone at turn 1, there is some additional pavement if you go straight, and this is definitely a better option in a longer sort of runoff area than if you were trying to make the corner and run out of pavement. And even though there's some grass here, the wall isn't that far away that you can't reach it if you're going full tilt. There's a decent amount of grass for the slower sort of exit turn 1, although you can certainly hook back across the track. I'm sorry, the exit of turn 2 here, Big Bend. And then we've got the left-hander, where again, there's a bit of grass around the outside of the track, but it essentially disappears at the end of the right-hander. And this is an area that collects a lot of cars. And then there's not a lot of run out on the outside going into the uphill. There is some in West Bend. We've got the West Bend chicane here. Champ Car won't be using this. Most amateur organizations don't, but it is available if you coming in a little too hot into West Bend and want to just go straight, cool it off, and then rejoin. And then finally in the downhill, this looks like a lot of runoff, but it really isn't at 100 miles an hour, and then there's less space at exit. So definitely be careful around the entire track and don't count on the place bailing you out. So with that, let's hop into the iRacing simulator and take a look at the same things from a different view, as well as the corner stations. All right, as we head out in the iRacing simulator, you can see that the pit exit is right into the turn 1 brake zone as described. So here we are going through Big Bend. We've got the first corner station on the right for turn 2, the second part of Big Bend, and then again on the right, just at the entrance here of the left-hand corner. After the left-hander, we've got the right-hander, and on the left, we've got another corner station at the exit. We've got this short Paul Newman straight, a corner station on the inside at the base of the hill, and then again at the top of the hill at the exit of the uphill after the crest is the next corner station. Heading into West Bend, there's a corner station at the left at turn in, and then again after the exit, the bridge station on the left. In the downhill, there's another station on the outside, just here at turn in. And then finally, if you look down the front straightaway, the Sam Posey straight on the right, you could see the start finish corner flag station. Now as we head into turn 1, we're actually going to take the turn 1 runoff instead of regular turn 1. So as if we had a brake failure or some other issue, there's a lot of paved runoff straight ahead, plenty of space to get the car slowed down. It's a much better option than trying to make the corner and then potentially sailing it into the wall beyond the grass runoff there. And of course, if you do have to use this extra space, take a look here at the turn 1 corner station before re-merging onto the hot track. So again, as we took a look in the Google Maps, there's a lot of grass in this part of the track, and it can be deceiving because there's in the wet, for instance, you'll very quickly cover a lot of distance. It might even make it out to the wall. And then again, at the end of the right-hander, all the extra runoff space disappears and you've got the barrier. Into the uphill corner, for whatever little runoff there is around the entry, it basically disappears here as you crest and you've got the barrier on exit. We are going to take the west bend chicane here. Again, if there's an issue with braking, getting the car slowed down, you can use this extra paved space and then be careful rejoining. Use that bridge station on the left to let you know when it's safe. Finally, we've got the downhill corner, and we're going to come right back into the pits here, so not quite tracking out all the way, hugging to the right, and getting the car slowed down for the pit entry chicane. We're going to travel down the left travel lane on pit lane, away from any potential teams working on their cars, before using the merge lane, and then pulling into our pit box at the end of pit lane here. And that wraps up the content for our first video, taking a look at the safety features around Lime Rock. Stick around for the next one where we look at the line and using the whole track. Thanks for taking a look at the Corner Faster videos. Check out cornerfaster.com and we'll see you at Lime Rock.